Deep within the equatorial rainforests of Central Africa, where light fractures into green shadows and sound is absorbed by layers of vegetation, there exists an animal that seems almost imagined rather than real. The okapi moves through this environment with a quiet certainty, its presence so subtle that even seasoned forest dwellers can pass within meters of it without ever knowing. For decades, the outside world doubted its existence, dismissing early accounts as folklore or misidentification. Yet the okapi was never hidden out of fragility. It was hidden by design. The evolutionary story of the okapi begins long before human curiosity reached the Congo basin. Millions of years ago, ancestors shared with modern giraffes roamed across more open landscapes. As climates shifted and forests expanded, some of these lineages retreated inward, adapting not to visibility and height, but to concealment and precision. Over time, the okapi emerged as a specialist of density, shaped by an environment where survival favored discretion over dominance. Its form reflects this transition with striking clarity. At first glance, the okapi appears mismatched, as though assembled from fragments of different animals. The torso is compact and powerful, built for navigating tight forest corridors. The neck, elongated but not towering, hints at its giraffe heritage without compromising balance. The legs, marked with bold horizontal stripes, disrupt visual outlines in dappled light, confusing predators and breaking the animal's silhouette into unreadable segments. This patterning is not decoration, it is function encoded into skin. Movement through the rainforest demands more than strength. It requires awareness. The okapi's gait is deliberate, each step placed to minimize sound and disturbance. Fallen branches, thick undergrowth, and uneven ground are negotiated with an ease that suggests intimate familiarity. This is an animal that does not force the forest to accommodate it. It reads the forest, responding in real time to subtle changes in terrain and atmosphere. Sensory adaptation defines much of the okapi's success. Its hearing is acute, capable of detecting distant disturbances filtered through layers of vegetation. Its vision, while not exceptional in open light, is finely tuned to the low-contrast environment of the understory. Smell, however, is paramount. Chemical cues carried on humid air convey information about nearby animals, shifting conditions, and potential threats. For the okapi, scent is not supplementary, it is a primary language. Despite its size, the okapi avoids confrontation through early detection rather than defense. When danger approaches, it does not flee immediately. It pauses, assesses, and chooses the least visible path away. Sudden movement attracts attention. Controlled withdrawal preserves anonymity. This strategy allows the okapi to coexist with predators without frequent encounters, maintaining a life defined by avoidance rather than conflict. The forest itself shapes the okapi's daily rhythm. Activity peaks during crepuscular hours, when light is low but visibility remains functional. During these periods, the okapi feeds methodically, selecting leaves, shoots, and fruits with discernment. Its long, prehensile tongue allows it to strip vegetation cleanly, accessing food sources that other herbivores cannot. This feeding behavior reduces competition and minimizes time spent exposed. Socially, the okapi is reserved. Individuals maintain overlapping ranges but rarely interact directly. Communication occurs through scent marking, creating invisible boundaries that regulate spacing without physical enforcement. This loose structure supports stability without requiring group cohesion, an efficient solution in an environment where resources are scattered and visibility is limited. For centuries, this balance remained intact. The okapi's world changed slowly, allowing instinct and adaptation to remain effective. But the arrival of modern pressures would begin to challenge this equilibrium in ways no evolutionary memory could anticipate. As the forest shifts from night's cool restraint into the slow humidity of morning, the okapi adapts without announcement. Its movements remain measured, but its awareness sharpens as the understory fills with sound. Birds signal the day's arrival, insects layer the air with vibration, and distant disturbances ripple outward through foliage. To the okapi, these are not background noises. They are data. Each change refines its understanding of space, threat, and opportunity. Feeding is the central axis around which the okapi's daily life rotates. Unlike grazers of open plains, it is a browser, selecting specific leaves, shoots, buds, and fruits from a wide array of plant species. This selectivity is not indulgence, it is necessity. Many rainforest plants contain toxins or compounds that require careful physiological management. Over evolutionary time, the okapi developed a digestive system capable of processing this chemically complex diet, extracting nutrients while minimizing harm. Its long, flexible tongue allows it to reach deep into dense vegetation, stripping foliage with precision while avoiding thorns and irritants. This feeding strategy has consequences beyond individual survival. By browsing selectively, the okapi shapes plant growth patterns, influencing which species regenerate and which recede. Seeds are dispersed through its movements, carried internally and deposited across its range. In this way, the okapi becomes an unintentional gardener of the forest, contributing to structural diversity and resilience. Its absence would alter not just animal dynamics, but the very architecture of the understory. Water, abundant yet unpredictable in the rainforest, is approached with caution. Streams and clearings present exposure, and the okapi does not linger where visibility increases. It drinks efficiently, often during low-light conditions, retreating quickly into cover. This behavior reflects a broader principle that governs its life: minimize time spent vulnerable. Even in abundance, risk is never ignored. Reproduction introduces one of the few periods of heightened risk and visibility. Courtship is subtle, mediated through scent and timing rather than display. When mating occurs, it is brief, and the pair separates immediately. The female then withdraws deeper into seclusion, selecting a birth site that prioritizes concealment above all else. Gestation progresses quietly, and when the calf is born, the world contracts to a small, hidden space within the forest. The newborn okapi embodies stillness. For weeks, it remains largely motionless, its coat pattern blending perfectly with shadow and leaf litter. This strategy, known as hiding behavior, reduces detection by predators during the calf's most vulnerable stage. The mother returns periodically to nurse, her visits brief and unpredictable. There is no vocal calling, no obvious trail. Survival depends on invisibility, reinforced through silence and restraint. As the calf grows, movement gradually replaces stillness. The forest becomes classroom and shelter simultaneously. The young okapi learns paths not through instruction but through following, absorbing spatial memory with every step. Feeding preferences, avoidance behaviors, and timing are acquired through observation. By the time independence approaches, the calf carries an internal map of the forest that mirrors its mother's, encoded not in conscious thought but in instinct refined by experience. Throughout this process, social interaction remains minimal. There are no herds, no coordinated defense, no collective vigilance. This solitary structure is not a weakness. In dense environments where food is dispersed and visibility limited, solitude reduces competition and lowers the chance of detection. Each okapi becomes a self-contained system, interacting with others indirectly through scent and absence rather than presence. Yet this finely tuned system is increasingly disrupted. Logging roads carve linear openings through forest complexity, creating edges where none existed before. These edges alter microclimates, introduce invasive species, and provide access for hunting. What was once continuous becomes fragmented, and the okapi strategies, perfected for continuity, begin to strain under discontinuity. Noise travels differently along cleared paths. Light penetrates deeper. Human movement introduces patterns the okapi did not evolve to interpret. Though it responds with caution, shifting activity and avoiding altered zones, there are limits to adaptation. Some paths cannot be crossed without exposure. Some territories shrink below viability. Still, the okapi persists where conditions allow. It adjusts feeding routes, relocates core areas, and recalibrates timing. Its endurance is not dramatic, but it is persistent. It survives not by resisting change directly, but by bending around it, until bending is no longer possible. As the Congo rainforest stretches its layered canopy toward the sky, the okapi navigates the vertical complexity with a quiet mastery. Unlike open-land herbivores, its world is three-dimensional. Fallen logs, lianas, undergrowth, and scattered clearings create a labyrinth that challenges movement, visibility, and strategy. Every step the okapi takes is informed by memory, instinct, and sensory perception, an intimate choreography with its environment developed over millennia. The evolutionary heritage of the okapi defines this precision. Though it shares an unmistakable lineage with the giraffe, natural selection within dense forest demanded divergent adaptations. Long legs became powerful yet agile tools for maneuvering among obstacles, not for sprinting across plains. Its neck, moderately elongated, allows selective browsing of understory foliage while maintaining balance through narrow paths. The body, compact and muscled, prioritizes stability and stealth over open ground speed. Behaviorally, the okapi exemplifies restraint. It does not expose itself unnecessarily and treats every disturbance as potential risk. Even routine movements, drinking, feeding, resting, are conducted with awareness of sound, scent, and light. The okapi's acute olfactory senses track predators and conspecifics alike, while its hearing captures the faintest rustle across multiple layers of forest. Sight, attuned to low contrast and filtered light, completes this triad of sensory vigilance. The okapi's diet reinforces its role as a keystone species within the rainforest. Its preference for selective foliage, buds, shoots, and fruits influences plant distribution and growth patterns. Seeds consumed pass through its digestive system and are deposited elsewhere, facilitating regeneration in a landscape where dispersal mechanisms are limited by canopy density. By managing both vegetation and smaller herbivores, the okapi helps maintain the forest's equilibrium, subtly orchestrating ecological balance without fanfare. Territoriality remains understated yet effective. Each individual maintains a range overlapping minimally with others, often marked with glandular secretions to communicate occupancy and reproductive status. These chemical signals form invisible boundaries, reducing confrontation and ensuring that resources remain sufficient. Where ranges intersect, encounters are brief and ritualized, a flash of observation, a subtle posture, rarely escalating into conflict. Reproduction is similarly measured. Mating occurs discreetly, with the female subsequently retreating into secluded zones optimal for birthing. Calves, born with cryptic coats designed for camouflage, spend weeks in near total concealment. During this period, the mother's visits are controlled and unpredictable, minimizing risk while providing nourishment. This combination of stealth and care ensures that offspring survive in an environment rife with potential threats, from predatory mammals to environmental hazards. Human activity increasingly encroaches on this delicate system. Logging, mining, and road construction fragment territories, interrupt chemical communication, and reduce available foraging grounds. Poaching, while historically less significant than for more visible species, poses a latent threat. Each incision into the forest imposes a cost on the Okapi, compelling shifts in movement, foraging strategy, and den selection. Despite these pressures, where forests remain intact, populations demonstrate remarkable resilience, adjusting behavior without abandoning core survival strategies. Scientific attention has grown as the Okapi reveals broader ecological truths. Its persistence reflects forest health, making it an indicator species for intact ecosystems. Camera traps, aerial surveys, and genetic studies illuminate patterns of movement, reproduction, and social interaction previously inaccessible to human observation. These findings underscore not only the Okapi's biological significance but its role as a living barometer of environmental integrity. Culturally, the Okapi embodies a duality, known yet hidden, symbolically rich yet physically elusive. Indigenous communities have long recognized its presence, weaving it into myth, folklore, and traditional knowledge. Outside observers, however, often encounter the Okapi only through fleeting glimpses, footprints, or oral accounts, contributing to its reputation as the forest ghost. This perception reinforces the necessity of protecting unseen species, reminding humanity that visibility is not a prerequisite for ecological importance. Adaptation remains central to the Okapi's survival. It continuously calibrates its behavior to the subtle cues of an evolving environment, balancing exposure with need, foraging with concealment, and independence with reproductive necessity. Its strategy is patient, precise, and conditional, a testament to evolution's nuanced engineering, honed for life in complexity rather than spectacle. In the final analysis, the Okapi's story is one of quiet mastery and enduring adaptation. It is neither the largest nor the most vocal, yet it occupies a niche critical to rainforest stability. Its existence demonstrates that survival is not always about display or aggression, but often about discretion, timing, and an intimate understanding of place. Through thousands of generations, the Okapi has perfected this strategy, maintaining balance in a world of constant shadow and filtered light. The life of the Okapi is structured around subtle rhythms. Feeding, resting, and moving occur within a framework dictated by opportunity, risk, and seasonal cycles. The rainforest is both a provider and a challenge, offering nourishment while demanding vigilance. Each choice the Okapi makes, which path to take, which plant to eat, when to pause, reflects a deep integration with its environment, a dance choreographed by evolution over millions of years. Reproductive success hinges on patience and secrecy. Gestation, birth, and rearing are conducted with minimal exposure. Calves develop within protective concealment, learning the forest indirectly, internalizing its geography, its perils, and its resources long before independence. By the time they leave their mothers, they possess not only the physical ability to survive but the behavioral wisdom necessary to navigate a complex ecosystem. Survival, in the case of the Okapi, is as much about knowledge as strength. Human activity, however, represents the most significant challenge to this delicate equilibrium. Forest fragmentation, illegal hunting, and resource extraction impose constraints that evolution did not prepare the Okapi to navigate. Roads sever territories, settlements increase human-wildlife conflict, and environmental degradation alters the distribution of food and water. Yet even within these pressures, the Okapi demonstrates remarkable plasticity, adjusting movement patterns, feeding strategies, and den locations to preserve life in altered landscapes. Ecologically, the Okapi remains indispensable. Its role as a mid-level browser, seed disperser, and subtle regulator of prey species underpins the health of the rainforest understory. When okapis are absent, vegetation patterns shift, prey populations fluctuate, and cascading imbalances emerge, highlighting the profound, often unseen, impact of this solitary herbivore. In essence, the okapi is a keystone within invisibility, a species whose effect on ecosystem integrity far exceeds the prominence of its silhouette. Culturally, the okapi continues to inspire awe. Its elusive nature has earned it nicknames such as forest ghost, while its unique appearance, a giraffe relative with zebra-like legs, captures the imagination of naturalists and conservationists alike. The species has become emblematic of the hidden wonders of Africa's rainforests and a symbol of the broader struggle to protect species that survive quietly, often without human notice. In conclusion, the Okapi exemplifies survival through adaptation, intelligence, and integration. It thrives not through confrontation or dominance, but by navigating complexity with precision. Its life story underscores the delicate interdependence of forest species and the need for careful stewardship of these ecosystems. Though hidden, the Okapi is a linchpin in the rainforest narrative, a silent actor whose presence maintains balance, biodiversity, and ecological continuity. As shadows lengthen under dense canopy and humidity thickens the air, the Okapi moves, watches, and survives. Its story is a testament to resilience, a blueprint of subtle mastery, and a reminder that some of nature's most vital players are also its quietest. For those who venture into its realm, the Okapi offers lessons in patience, observation, and respect for the rhythms of life that exist beyond human perception.